Just drop that ass, bitch. It's Open Micers in the house. Pop that pussy with that Open Micers logo in your mouth. Jason with his bald ass head. Jacob looking in red. It's Open Micers, bitch. Heard what I said. Drop that ass. Open Micers in the house. Drop that ass, pop that pussy. Open Micers in the house. Open Micers in the house. Open Micers is a mouse. Drop that ass, pop that pussy. Open Micers in the house. The mic is now open.
That's right. The mic is now open. My name is Jason Robbins, and returning to the show is Mr. Sickly himself, Jacob Craig.
Dude, it hasn't been the same without me. I've got to say, every episode has been horrible. What have you guys been doing? Unlistenable without me on this pod.
I had a really good time with you not being here. I kind of liked it.
I bet you did, Daddy. Yeah, I'm so glad to be back, man. I've been sick for like 3 straight weeks, just struggling it out. But I am back, and I'm very excited for our guest today. He is a star in comedy that is rising meteorically right now, dude. And he already has so many credits under his belt, including The Tonight Show, being a Just for Laughs new face, being on Adam Devine's House Party on Comedy Central. It is the one, it is the only, the star of the new YouTube special available right now on the Rob Haze YouTube channel, Frontin. It is Rob Haze. How you doing, my friend?
I'm doing all right. Happy to be here. I don't believe that is a recorded theme song. There's clearly someone off camera freestyling that. That's got to be the story. There's someone off camera that has a mic that was freestyling, and you know they messed up a couple. Y'all kept the facade going. There's no way that's the real theme song.
You know, I wish we were that elaborate with it, but what we did was we let a friend of ours who's been on the podcast a few times, who is a quote unquote recording artist, record us a podcast theme song. And that's what he gave us.
All right. You said it was bad. Like you said, you warned me that it was going to be bad.
Yeah.
But I didn't know it was going to be like, oh, I could have made this.
Well, the thing is,
I didn't know it was going to be like that.
The first
like
one
I thought it was going to involve instruments.
Well, the first one he sent us was a hip hop version, and then we didn't. I don't know what happened with that one, but he sent us another one that was the acoustic version that you heard, and I personally like the acoustic version better. I mean, that's why he's like talking about popping pussy and tap that.
Yeah,
ass.
But see, it makes sense in the hip hop version, and then when you slow it down for the remix, it just loses all of its flavor.
It's acoustic, but were there any acoustic instruments?
So there are. You just can't hear it over the Zoom. But
okay.
And I assure you, with every ounce of my body, it does not make it better.
Okay, because I'm like, acoustic's wild, and then to send an acapella and be like, no, but this is the acoustic version.
He should just send us
imagine
an acapella
the guitar. Yeah, that's what I heard. I heard only vocals.
Yeah, I don't know why Zoom does that. Zoom is so weird. Like it'll put the voice through, but it won't play any kind of music. Like if I play any kind of music, nobody will be able to hear it. It's weird. I don't understand.
I love that we all use Zoom and it hasn't improved.
Yeah.
like the whole world used it, and they're like, well, hey, we didn't ask for y'all to use it for free. Y'all keep using it for free, and every 40 minutes we see what y'all are doing. We're not changing nothing.
Hell, they charge me. I'm paying like $20 a month for this Zoom, and they still haven't improved it. So I'm like, well,
that's crazy.
Is there something
that's
else?
Hulus right there.
There's something else coming along we can use. I don't know.
It's almost a Disney Plus bundle. Like we could have 3 streamers at this point instead of doing this podcast. What are we doing?
Honestly, Disney Plus needs to they need to push more that you can watch all the 30 for 30s. Because every day I'll bring up a 30 for 30, and then there's no way to see it because nobody has ESPN Plus.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. I and now too they promote the Hulu Disney bundle, and it's just kind of like they don't even promote that you get ESPN Plus with that. Like that's the way to sell it to dad, dude. Like this is a bundle for families. Dad wants that ESPN Plus. You can watch I don't know if people know this, basketball is always on. It's just on at all times of the night. I'll turn on Hulu at 2 in the morning and there's like something streaming, like ice hockey. Most of the time, there's like 15 basketball games on the TV during basketball season.
What do you mean?
Like I'll like during basketball season, I'll turn on Hulu and it'll show live now, and it's just like 15 different basketball games at like 2 in the morning.
These
Where are they
games
coming
aren't
from?
live. These aren't live games that you're watching.
They can't be, but it says that they're live. What are they lying to us?
I think you're not interpreting. I think you're getting a live feed of a recorded game.
Okay, that would make more sense.
Well, what time zone do you live in? Do you live in Hawaii?
No, we live in Central Time. We live in Chicago time.
Okay, okay. But not Chicago, just you want to represent their time zone. You
Right.
can just say Central Time. Birmingham has Central Time too. You don't have to make it like Chicago owns, like the C is for Chicago. It's
Yeah,
not. It's for Central.
how did they get the tag for a Central Time whenever you're
know.
like trying to set stuff up and it's like Chicago time? How did they get that moniker? Why not somewhere else like St. Louis?
Well, Chicago's in all of media in the 90s and the 80s. So they got Chucky, they got Candyman, they got Home Alone,
Oh
they
Yeah.
got Family Matters, they got Ferris Bueller's Day Off. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like that's when they were like, all right, it's Chicago time. Because
Yeah.
like 1986 and 1991, that's definitely Chicago time.
Right. And you think about all the states that are on Chicago time. It's like Texas, Louisiana, Mississippi, Alabama. We're all
The
on
whole
Chicago time.
Texas. It goes around Texas and up.
Yeah.
Even the time
Your man
zone.
knows time zones. One thing about Rob Haze, I know time zones. Like, yeah,
That should be the
we
title
want
of
to
your
get
next
into
special.
it. If I was ever on a show and it was like draw the time zone map, I'm getting it better than all the contestants.
Right. That should be
Yeah,
the name of your next special. I know time zones.
it might be. It might be.
So does that mean the time zone is afraid of Texas, that it won't even go through Texas, it goes around?
I don't think it was easy back whenever they created time zones to pitch the concept to Texans. So they got frustrated and they were like, you know what, you are right. This is the Lone Star State. It's all Central Time. This is the center of the United States. Yeah, I'm with you guys. Hey. I know it's wrong. I know it's not scientific. I know the longitude does not line up, but we're not going to tell them that. We're going to get out of here. They got guns.
Look, they almost started another war over that.
Right.
They'll start a war over anything.
You know how Texans are. Like, no, y'all, from here all the way to Alabama, that's the center. That's
Right. The middle of the country right there. What won't Texas start a war over? Because they competed in two really big ones.
yeah. Now this when I named the wars that Texas was in, this where were they? They was in the war 1812, the 7 Years' War. Was they in that one?
It was the Spanish-American War that was fought primarily with Texas, right?
Right.
And then the Civil War. Texas was a part of that, weren't they?
Okay, yeah. Okay, yeah, the Civil War for sure.
Was Texas founded during the Civil War? Jason, you remember?
Dude, I don't know. You know more about American history than I do. You're a teacher, for God's sakes.
Okay.
Yeah. I teach special needs kids, Jason. We don't talk about the Civil War. It'll just spook them.
But I'm special needs.
Start on OnlyFans.
I'm
I wish I
special
could.
needs. You need to
My insurance
teach
is
me.
horrible.
So,
All right.
So Rob, tell me about your special. How's the reception for the new special going? Because let me tell everybody out there, the new special Frontin on YouTube is freaking awesome.
It's been great. The only thing is I gotta figure out how to get people to see it. I just overwhelmingly, I mean, I want to say 99% of the feedback has been positive. It's been years of work. I started working on this material after my previous album, Hazopedia, in 2019. But I was going to chicken out and talk about silly things. And then the pandemic happened. And then I decided, like, hey, it's now or never. What's the point of me doing stand up and talking to people every night if I don't talk about something a little more grounded? But I wanted to do it in a funny way. And so I worked it out all over the country. I was talking to a streamer. They was gonna pay for it. They pulled out, and then I put my own money up and shot it myself in Atlanta last year. So, yeah, I need this money back, y'all. I need people to pre-order this album. I need people to watch it. I need people to turn it on when they're not watching it. Just keep it on in your sleep. You know what I'm saying? Instead of watching that game at 2 o'clock, you know you're gonna fall asleep before you know who's gonna win. Just turn on the special one time. You know what I'm saying? That's not just you, that's everybody. That's not
Right.
just for Jacob.
Instead of watching those pre-recorded live 2 in the morning basketball games, turn on Rob
Yeah,
Haze
you getting fooled. You getting fooled by some replays. I hate to burst your bubble, but them college kids ain't awake.
They're awake doing something else at 2 in the
Yeah,
morning
they
besides
awake,
playing
but they
basketball.
yeah, but they ain't in basketball attire.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and I gotta say, man, like that's the difference I think between most comics is that when something like that happens, where you have a streamer that says they're going to pay for a special, they pull out. The only way it's going to happen is if you pay for it out of pocket. I feel like most people in any industry, when it comes to like that level of risk, would be like, "All right, well, that's my sign to not do this," and then you put up your own money and then produce, a fantastically received YouTube special.
Yeah, no, I took it a different way. I was like, this is my sign to own this, forever. So, there's when comedians blow up, there's always that used to be that one DVD in Walmart where it's like, when did they record this? When
Right.
did they have
yeah.
on the orange sweatshirt? I never seen this one, and some dude just owned the rights, had them sign a contract, and now, is making money off of it. So maybe I can do that to myself. Maybe, if I blow up big enough, then release it again as the video Rob Hayes doesn't want you to see, and it's
Right.
actually a really good special.
Send it to people in the mail, sell it at shows for merch. Uh,
Mm-hmm,
you,
mm-hmm.
you've been in the game long enough. You've had to have worked with a comic that's like so old school that they still sell like DVDs as merch at the merch tables.
Oh man. I mean, like when I started, everyone had DVDs.
Yeah.
Like people doing a guest spot had a DVD. So
Really?
like the people would walk out of comedy club and just be berated.
Hmm.
Like
Right.
they would just like so many people. All right, I bought 5 DVDs. Can I please get to my car? Like everyone that's on the show is like, I'm selling DVDs, I'm selling DVDs. Unless the headliner was selling DVDs and they had to put their foot down, no one else could sell DVDs. It was people in the crowd selling DVDs while the headliner was on. That's how ruthless it used to be in Atlanta. You would see somebody in the corner like, no, $5. Mine only $5. He gonna charge you 20. Like yeah, it was nuts. I
That's
never did
crazy.
that because I never at that point I was so new. I didn't have enough material that I felt confident selling, knowing that I was gonna need to do it.
Right.
I
So
wasn't gonna like sell you my act and then also go do my act tomorrow.
so were the DVDs that these guest spots selling, were they just like burned DVDs of a set that they had done? Like it wasn't
Flip
produced?
cam footage.
No way.
Microsoft Movie Maker
No way.
titles. Yes. Maybe some plugins. Maybe they got a hookup. Some of these DVDs pre-exist everybody having a computer. So they knew a guy with the computer. They get them the set. Yeah, it's the wild, wild west. Maybe they fill it with skits and documentary footage or something. Hey man, this is how we write jokes right here. Or you just get a 15-minute set.
Yeah, that's what I was
Yeah.
gonna say. I don't think those DVDs had too many special features. that came.
Some people were ambitious. Some people was like, I'm gonna sell it to, we made a music video trying to catch one on YouTube. We're gonna put that on there. We got this footage. My boy who has a camera caught footage of us roasting. We'll put that on there, and then we'll put 5 minutes of jokes on there, sprinkle them in between, and that's the DVD. Some people did it like that. Like some people really was like, all right, if you're gonna buy something from me, it's gonna be a playable thing that you could at least watch once. And also, this is like pre-streaming, so if people would watch it because eventually you can only watch a Hangover so many times.
Right.
Yeah, but don't you feel like that era of comedy and even music, like a lot of people got famous off slinging their merch at shows and in parking lots and stuff. Wouldn't that be a lot easier than trying to get people to watch a YouTube special nowadays?
No, because like I'll have a tweet go stupid, and then I could be like, "Hey, watch this," and get people from a tweet. And then also like people will be watching my special in my sleep. Like I'll wake up and the number is never the same.
Yeah.
I feel like with the DVDs, it's kind of like you got to be when you're not in the streets, your DVD is not in the streets.
Yeah.
Right. Man, the difference between times now too, like back then, I'm sure I would not have wanted to be bothered with people's DVDs at all, but like now I kind of want to see what's on that DVD. I would kind of pay any amount of money to see what is on this burned DVD that you're selling to me while the headliner's on stage.
I wish I had gotten everybody's DVD from that time, and I wish I kept and held on to all those DVDs. Because, yeah, it's like a time capsule. Some of them people don't even like the people who are good also sold DVDs. The people who are headliners and had like an hour club set and stuff, they would also sell DVDs. And some of those would be amazing. It's just like one camera shot way in the back or something, but it's still a like incredible, and I wish I had that to give to them, like, hey, I saved this from you, go crazy on TikTok, like like I wish I had some of these people's DVD, and I wish I had an idea of what everybody was doing.
Right. Yeah, sort of a Where Are They Now Oprah episode of
the
Atlanta comedy scene from back then.
Yeah.
That's what we need to do, Jacob. Make some DVDs of the Open Micers podcast and then go try to sell them at comedy shows.
Nah, I don't think people want to listen to this shit for free on Spotify, dude. I don't think that anyone would want to buy a burn.
I think ironically, if y'all make a good enough bit about DVDs and that whole era, and then you're like, and then after you do the bit, you're like, I'm selling these DVDs, y'all make a cover, y'all print it out, y'all probably could make some bread.
That's not a bad idea.
That is a good idea, dude. We should try that out the next show that we go to.
I don't need a huge percentage, you know what I'm saying? Like I'll just take $1 off each DVD for starts, but
right. What we'll do is
it could go down after a while in perpetuity.
So for every DVD we sell, we will watch Rob Haze Frontin 5 times.
Okay, all right, we could do it like that. We got to erase this part though. YouTube might be listening, but
right, we got to edit this out.
Mm-hmm.
You don't want old Susan to take the bad boy down.
Who's Susan?
She is the owner of YouTube or the CEO or whatever.
Okay, shout out to Susan. You know what I'm saying? We love everything you're doing over there. You know what I'm saying? Chocolate Rain, cat videos, soldiers coming back home, hugging their kids. You know what I'm saying? Vivo, everything going on over there. Kesha videos and whatnot. Yeah, Susan, we love you.
Dude, I have not thought about Chocolate Rain in a hot fucking minute, bro. In a hot minute.
Yeah, man. I've been promoting my special, but I also been promoting YouTube.com. It's a great website.
Just trying to be a company man.
Right. I'm a company guy. You know what I'm saying? Hey, streamers out there, that you could have had this promo. You could have had this love, but y'all let Susan get it.
Look at what you missed out on, Hulu.
Mm-hmm.
Dude, Hulu stopped trying. Hulu's just accepted that everyone else has cornered the comedy market. They're not putting anything on there no more.
Yeah.
You should have tried to get on Hulu, Rob. You could have been the only special on Hulu.
Man, I don't, who knows what the future holds, but right now, Susan's gonna make me the next Mr. Beast. Y'all watch.
Hey,
So
we're company men here too, because this is the only way you can see the video of this podcast is on YouTube, because we love YouTube.
Okay, okay. I
yeah.
didn't even know I was being filmed. I didn't. Let me zip this all the way up. I didn't know I was being filmed. I apologize.
So I do want to get your take on this, Rob. So do you think it's easier or harder putting a product like this out now that there are like so many streamers? Because like, there are like there's literally a stand-up comedy special on UFC fucking Fight Pass. And at the same time, there's these fantastic comics who are self-producing and putting it on YouTube because they're like, yeah, all of the streamers are flooded, like no one's interested.
I mean, I think it's a very hard time that came after a very easy time. I think if you had that thing hot and ready to upload March, April of 2020, you
Yeah.
could have ate.
Hmm.
And I think all of us saw that. All of us saw the people pop off of TikTok, pop off of social media, pop off of YouTube, get a ton of dates off of it. And, I think we still have that mindset. For me, my people came to me in 2020 and they were like, we see what's going on. And to me, it just felt like if I put something out now, I don't have anything in my possession to put out. And if I put something out, it's not gonna be of up to my standards and what I want to talk about. I had just put out an album August of 19. And so I felt kind of like yeah, I didn't really feel like I had the set at that time to put out. And so, but also I'm thinking the world's ending. So I'm like, they calling
Right.
me worried about numbers and YouTube and stuff. And I'm like, we're gonna die. This is the apocalypse. Like I really thought it was over. When I saw Corden with no audience, I was like, well, the world's ending, bro. We're not gonna have
Hmm.
carpool karaoke no more. It's over with. Like they ended an NBA game in the middle. Like
Yeah.
what are you talking about? So I wasn't thinking about money. I was just thinking about survival at the time.
Right. Yeah. And it seemed like, at least for entertainment, it was over at that time. Cause, you've got the best comics in the world still having to figure it out again. Like
Hmm.
guys like Sam Morril up on a rooftop just shouting jokes down at people who are spread out wearing masks. Like no one's ever seen anything like this before. And no one cracked the code that all of y'all could have just come down here to Mississippi and had a normal show in like March of 2020. Because that's what we were doing down here. We were still just having comedy shows. Y'all should have come on
Okay.
down, man.
I never been invited to Mississippi. I don't think I've ever done stand up in Mississippi.
That's crazy, especially, coming out of the Atlanta scene. That is
Yeah.
crazy.
I've done some stand up in Memphis, but not
Okay.
in Mississippi.
All right,
Yeah,
well,
dude.
we got to
I'm,
get him down here somehow,
oh,
dude.
we gotta, dude. Um,
Yeah. I
yeah,
would
we,
love to go. I would love to go. I would love to go to Mississippi. I got stung by a jellyfish in the Gulf of Mexico one time down in Biloxi. I've been to Mississippi. I've been at the Chuck E. Cheese in Hattiesburg one time. That's a long story. But like, yeah, I've been through Mississippi for sure.
that's hilarious, man. You know not to get in the water now, though, right? Like, you can't get in the water no more down here.
Yeah, yeah. First of all, the water, you know what I'm saying, it's not blue. I will
No.
say that. I will say that it's not blue. I got on a jet ski with my dad and my sister. They were fine. And the first time I saw a jellyfish in person was earlier that day. I saw one. And then when I got stung, I like ran out the water and then I saw all these like washed up jellyfish all over the place. And then I was like, oh, this is where they be at. Like they
Yeah.
own this place. Yeah. A lot of people offer to pee on you when you get stung
I
by
was
a
gonna
jellyfish.
ask if you had anybody pee on you when you
That's
came
Southern
out.
hospitality right there.
Like my dad was offering, but he was also like crying a little bit, and I was just like, "Nah, I'm gonna just like, I think I got it. I think I'm okay." It hit me in the calf, and it just felt like something was forcing me to do a calf raiser
Yeah.
like all night long. But then, like, I think the next day it stung a little bit, and then after that, I was fine.
Because the thing
Right.
is, I mean, I'm pretty sure there's some like old ass boomer white guys that would, jump at the chance to pee on a black guy on the beach. I mean, Mississippi, I mean, they'll pee on you if you don't have a jellyfish on you.
They're just waiting for you to ask.
I
Like, please,
wasn't
can I?
asking though. I wasn't asking. I was like, I want to say I was like 15, maybe. Yeah.
See, and now you're lucky if you do get stung by a jellyfish, because this was like right before the news story broke or whatever. Me, my brother, and my dad went fishing. We're just wading out into the Gulf and catching fishing poles. And then in the car on our way home, we noticed we have rashes like all up and down our shins. And then a couple of days later, the news story broke that flesh-eating bacteria got into the Gulf of Mexico.
Mm-hmm.
Dang.
Yeah, that shit will eat you up, dude. Like even if it doesn't like it's killing people, even if it doesn't like seriously hurt you, it left like nasty rashes all over our legs.
Damn. Well, I mean, it could be a lot worse. So, yeah, I'm sorry to hear that. That's terrible.
Yeah, if you come back, don't get in the water. We still got it.
Okay.
Don't go in
Okay.
there.
Okay. How's the drinking water out there? Is it all right?
Yeah,
Should
don't.
I?
I wouldn't.
Okay. Okay. All
Drinking
right.
water's fine. Just don't go in the water in the Gulf. That's just
Yeah,
if you're a tourist and you come to the Mississippi Gulf Coast, just don't get in the water.
nah.
Cool. Cool.
Drinking water is cool, man. Most of us are set up on wells, so we're spoiled because like we got a well out in the yard. The
Mm.
water's better than everywhere else.
Yeah, but the problem with well water is it smells like sulfur.
Yeah, what? No, the fucking city water smells like sulfur, dude. The well
I,
water smells like minerals and
dude,
dirt.
I'm on city water and it doesn't smell like anything. It just smells like
Yes, it
water.
does. I won't drink the water at your house. It smells disgusting.
I've never seen two people roast each other for water quality. This is
It's all we've got
entertaining.
at this
That's all
point.
we do is just roast each other.
But Rob, I want to start getting into your origins and comedy a little bit. Start talking a
Okay.
little bit about the open mics of days past. So I'm assuming you started your comedy career in Atlanta. Um, about what?
Technically, Athens. I started my
Okay.
last year at UGA, but I was going back and forth and doing some mics and stuff in Atlanta, but the first year Athens and then Atlanta all after that.
What year was that?
Okay.
2009. I started in August 2009, and then I didn't get to Atlanta till I graduated like on July 31st, 2010, and then August 1st, I was at Uptown Comedy Corner at their open mic.
So
Okay.
how
So it was a
long
done deal. I was going to do stand up.
how long were you doing comedy in Atlanta before you moved to New York?
5 years. So I moved to New York in June of 15.
Okay. So I want to backpedal a little bit to doing comedy in Athens. So before you even set foot on stage, you're in Athens, Georgia. What goes into the decision of like getting on the stage? Like what makes you think that you're funny at this point?
So I'm in school. Some of the stuff I'm talking about in the special, I was alienated. I really didn't feel like I had any friends. And I went to a poetry night. I'm kind of depressed. No, I'm not sitting next to anybody I know. I'm just like kind of there. And then like there's an open mic. I sign up for the open mic to do a poem right after the people who were prepared and auditioned and everything. And I start making a poem about the poetry night. And then they called my name first on the open mic. They called somebody's name. They chickened out. They didn't go up there. They called my name. I go up and it's hilarious. I'm making a poem about the night, about the punch bowl, about the different poems that people did, the way that they're trying to use their whole vocabulary in one poem and all this stuff. It's hilarious. Each line getting a big laugh. After that, people started calling me a comedian, started getting a reputation as a comedian, but I had never done jokes. So I had a friend who did some stand-up, and he was like, he would get booked on stuff, but he had burned through all his material at the school. So people were tired of his jokes. He didn't have a place to work out new jokes or a process. So he would bring me, and then I would do silly poems, and then I would do poems at the poetry nights and stuff. So I was a poetry guy. And then one day I was like, I want to do jokes. And so I talked to him. I told him about it. He told me about this open mic they were starting. Ronnie Jordan was the host. And then I went up for my first time. I did like 15. You know, I just emptied out everything I wanted to talk about. It was okay, it was probably the best of the people whose first time it was. And then Ronnie told me basically you got to get up every night. You just got to perform every night. The next week I went to Uptown Comedy Corner. I got booed off the stage. The next night I crashed my car. I don't think these two things were related, but
They could be.
a lot of people in my life thought they were related. So then my car had this huge dent, and my airbag deployed, cut me up and stuff. I came back to school with no car. But then pretty much after that, I would figured out how to get on stage, not every night in Athens, pretty much once a week. So either there was like a once a month show that I would do. I would host everything. Whenever a comedian came to school, I would open for them. I hosted pageants. I hosted contests. I wrote a sketch show for a fraternity and sorority. I was just doing what I was so ambitious, and I was just doing whatever it took. So
So what kind of comedians were coming through the college at that time? Was it anyone big or was it kind of just like road dog college comics?
um I want to say Ronnie Jordan came. While I was in college, Godfrey came before
Okay.
I started. The first comedy show I ever went to was Carlos Mencia, who came
Nice.
to Legion Field and basically did crowd work for hours and called us deet the deets for hours. Uh, but it was weird because it was like I was like, this, I don't think this is it, but they were loving it. And also he like shook everyone's hand and like gave autographs to anybody who wanted an autograph and took pictures. So he left and everybody's like, man, that was the nicest guy, blah, blah, blah. I was
Right.
thinking like, yeah, but like what did he say, But this is the same time that like Vicious Circle was out.
Right.
That was the special that I feel like that was the special, and then Pimp Chronicles came out, and then it was like Cat Williams World after that.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's why I think a lot of people had a hard time speaking out against him too, because like you think it's obvious, like, oh, the guy stole your joke, fuck him. You speak out against him,
Oh,
and
this is
then
before that. This is before that. This is like that year. So like he
right,
came that August, and then that might have happened either like later in oh 06 or early oh 07. And then when that happened, like we was shook. We was like, yeah, that was wild. Cause yeah, the him and Joe Rogan and Ari Shaffir thing hadn't
yeah,
hadn't happened yet. Yeah.
gotcha. And but see, and when all that went down, like you mentioned him being such a nice guy, like you see in the documentary, they talked to Bobby Lee and they're like, dude, come on stage and talk about how he stole all these jokes from you. And he was like, no, I'm not going to do that. He's been really nice to me. Like he's given me all these opportunities. Like why would I call him out even if he did steal my jokes? Like I like that could have been like a means to an end a little bit for him to,
Yeah.
no one wants to call out the nicest guy in the room, even if he is doing shitty stuff.
Right. Um, oh man, Michael Richards happened while I was in college.
Oh
Nice.
And that
yeah.
was like the first, I don't know why the Laugh Factory looked familiar. Maybe because I watched Tourgasm, but
Yeah.
like when I saw it, it didn't look foreign. It didn't look like, oh, what is this place with this blue and all this? It looked like I think I know this place. And uh but yeah, I remember everybody seeing that, and I remember thinking, wow, that's powerful. And also what you do in a club could leave the club.
Right.
Yeah.
Because I feel like before that, we downloaded a bootleg of Chappelle in the club. Somebody had brought a recorder to the club and
Mhm.
then put it on like Napster or whatever, Kazaa, Bearshare or something. And we had a bootleg in high school of Chappelle, bootleg of Patton Oswalt, and Zach Galifianakis and stuff. But like but we that felt dirty. That felt like the FBI could stomp our door down any moment listening to that. But the Michael Richards thing and that being like carried to the point where they was apologizing on Letterman, it was like, oh, stuff can leave the club for real.
And did that kind of give you like hope as a comic a little bit too? Because I think to a lot of people, it proved the point that like a really bad hack comic can make it if they're just given the right opportunity. Right. So, like, if you're working with talent, you already have an upper hand because Michael Richards was never good at comedy. I mean, he proved it with
It was never good at
every,
stand up.
right.
You know what I'm saying? I don't want to take up for the racists this time, but you know, what he did as Kramer, he was on Fridays. He already had like a long career in comedy, but yeah, he wasn't a stand-up. And a lot of stand-ups, when stand-up started getting popular again, a lot of people who weren't stand-ups are down to jump into stand-up and take our money.
Right.
Yeah, but the
What's
thing I
like
always
Screech
wondered
from Saved by the Bell?
I always wondered about that is like Michael Richards was making like almost $1 million an episode for Seinfeld those last couple of years. He didn't need the money. I mean, why did he even try to go do stand up?
Coke's
You
expensive,
don't know
Daddy.
how he spent that Kramer money. You
True.
don't know, you making that Kramer money in 97, it's done in 98. You don't know what he did in 2000, what deals people said. Everybody's thinking like you. Everybody's walking. Mike got it, man. He Kramer. Hey, put it on Kramer's tab, man. Kramer got it. You know Kramer. Just imagine his hair like that. He got it. Like everywhere he goes. So I could see being on a hit show like, it's not called Kramer, it's called Seinfeld. He not making Jerry money and Jerry on the road. Elaine, she old Christine, she knew Christine, she Veep, you know what I'm saying? She Valkyrie, she get money, you know what I'm saying? Like he ain't get money like them. I could see it. I could see it. I could see being typecast and also not saving, and then being like, man, what time the Laugh Factory get started?
But
Right.
I don't think he was ever really a stand-up comedian though.
Right. But that's the problem. That's the real problem is these people who aren't stand-ups also want to skip steps. They couldn't even fathom going to an open mic, maybe like open mics in LA are nuts. You might not go up. They might not pick your name.
Yeah.
And then you got to stick around and clap and pretend to laugh and stuff so that the next time you show up, they maybe pick your name. Oh, I've been here 4 times. I haven't got picked yet. Like you got to deal with that stuff out here.
Oh
New
yeah.
York, no audience. Everybody probably gonna go up, but still it's no fun. Like mics in the South are fun. There are people there.
Yeah.
There are actual non-comedians there, like And for me, to me, that's why I feel like one of the pitfalls in Atlanta comedy is there's a disrespect for time. A lot of Atlanta comics end up being long-winded. They don't trim the fat. They develop bad habits because they don't have that pressure of where is the joke, pure jokes, where are the jokes, and it's a lot of fluff surrounding jokes sometimes.
Yeah.
Right. So, in your time on the Atlanta open mic comedy scene, are there any like crazy characters or crazy open mic nights that stand out in your mind?
Yeah, there was a open mic at a strip club, the Candy Shop.
Nice.
Uh, and when people like stop the music at a strip club and say, "Hey, these people gonna tell jokes," no one that's there is happy.
Yeah, they're
Right.
You
not
know what I'm
there to
saying? The
see
strippers
comedy.
not making money, they not happy. The patrons, they did not come. It's on a Monday. If they in the strip club on a Monday, they're not trying to laugh with you, you know. And so it's just that one was pretty crazy. Um, there was this guy, his name was Tommy in the Box, and he had this box he put on his head, and it was like this thing he made, and it had these two like metal things on it, and he had a wrench, and he would just like bang the box and stuff. And then like one time he brought a wheel, and he had this wheel in this bag of props, but he didn't manage his time right, and he never got to the wheel. So he wheeled this whole wheel in, but we didn't see what the wheel was about because he got the light before it was time for him to get into the wheel. Um, there was this duo called Jew and a Black Guy,
Okay.
and they were a comedy team, and one of them was Jewish, and he would wear like a yarmulke, and the other one would wear a do-rag, but then he'd take the do-rag off and he had a yarmulke on under the do-rag. And one time they went like there's these the hardest rooms in Atlanta where this was Uptown Comedy Corner, and they had like Boo Night, which was Sunday night. And that's where like if the crowd didn't like you, they had permission to boo you off stage. And you only got 3 minutes. So
Golly.
people getting booed off 45 seconds. They turn the music off wrong. They getting booed off the stage. Like it's a short leash. And that's basically where I got started. The first time I did it, I got like booed off the stage. It was like,
That's
come
the
back in
shit that's
six
gonna make you
months.
sharp.
Yeah. Next time I got up, I was ready for war. I was ready to attack. And I'm talking about everything. I'm talking about what I got on, what the person in the front row has on. I'm talking about everybody. And they're like, man, that was good. Next week, tell some jokes. And so then next week I came up with that same attack attitude, but my jokes trimmed all the way down to purely set up punch, no fat, boom, 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 and did what in my mind was like 5 minutes of material in that 3 minutes. It was like, oh, I thought I had five, but I really had three. But
Hmm.
also I got a closer. I got I'm like figuring it out fast. I'm like, all right, this joke definitely goes at the end because I can't follow it with nothing, like um, but Jew and a Black Guy goes up at this night, and the crowd is so confused, they don't say anything. And then Shawty, the host, he gets on the mic and he's like, man, y'all gotta start booing these people, man. Like, this is not what this night is about. Like, y'all gotta. He was like, man, y'all can't just be up here looking confused, man. Y'all gotta start booing. And then like brought somebody else up. Yeah.
That's hilarious that the host sets up the audience to boo the next comic on
Yeah.
stage.
Like it was ruthless. It was ruthless. But like the thing is, there's no HR, there's no application process. You just show up and then they ask you your name and then you tell them what you want them to hear. It got to the point after a while at Uptown, they stopped letting me do the open mic because it was like I was getting established, but I wasn't getting work at the club. So then I would start signing up under pseudonyms.
Wow.
And so I would sign up under another name, and then the host would be like, man, that's not you. You're not, you're not Jacob Craig." I'm like, "Yeah, I'm Jacob Craig tonight."
So have you
Now
ever been in any?
everyone would be much more disappointed if it was actually me, Rob Hayes. Hate to disappoint everybody, but
Have you ever been in any altercations on stage?
A lady threatened to cut me one time. But what happened was they were nuts. They were nuts. They were extremely uh you could tell they don't normally go places because
yeah.
they were celebrating their daughter's birthday at a comedy show. They brought little kids in a comedy show, and the daughter was so drunk, they asked me, they were like, "Do you really want to go up?" If you ever ask me if I want to go up, I'm gonna be like, "Yeah." I'm never gonna say no. I'm always gonna believe that like I'm gonna come out triumphant. I'm not gonna just watch a whole show and then go home and be like, "Well, wasn't right." So I'm like, "Yeah." They bring me up. I get up. I'm riffing on the song. Uh, it was it was a Migos song. The Migos had just came out. They say something about Katrina. I say something about Katrina. These people might be from New Orleans because they just hear the word Katrina and then they get into a fit. The girl whose birthday it is starts flashing me. When she starts flashing me, I'm just like, all right, like I probably shouldn't have went up. Like this is crazy. Now her mom is so mad that the girl's flashing me. She's like, "I will cut you." And I'm like, I didn't tell her to do that.
It's not
Like
even
I
your
didn't make
fault.
her do that. I don't even know why when she's angry, she would pull her breast out. You know what I'm saying? And so now I don't see a knife or anything, but just the threat, "I will cut you." It was just kind of like, and then the DJ turned the music on. And then I was like kind of pissed because I'm like, I dictate, when it's over or whatever. And I'm never going to steer us in a place of violence, but I should be able to commentate on how ridiculous this is. And then
Right.
I bounced after that. Yeah, I
So,
didn't find out if she
so
really
the
had a
girl
knife
that
or something.
the girl that pulled her tits out, she was pissed, and that's why she pulled her tits out, or was she just drunk?
I think she was too drunk. I think she was like trying to signify, "I'm ready to party, not listen to comedy anymore."
Right.
Maybe. I don't know.
Or she was like, I have suppressed trauma that bringing up Hurricane Katrina brings out of me, and I will show
Right.
you my breasts right
But it
now.
was just it was the lyrics in the song. Quavo brought up Katrina. I
Right.
was I was just brought up. I'm addressing the song I'm brought up to. I don't have a signature song at that time.
Well,
Whatever I hear in the song, I normally riff off of. That was kind of my thing. And so I don't, yeah, but maybe there was something with her and clothes and Katrina. I don't know. I don't know.
look, maybe she was so drunk she thought you were Quavo. Like maybe that's a possibility.
I doubt that. I doubt that, but I do think they wanted to end the show and they were successful. There was this one open mic that Bruce used to have at backstage, and there was this group of people there. They were dancers. They were like a dance group, and they were called the Freaks for Life. And they would dance after the show ended. So they would try to boo the comedians so that they could dance earlier.
Mm,
And that used to always be tough because it's like y'all are not trying to enjoy the show, but also y'all are the only people here.
right.
So
Yeah.
are those at like the one where the girl flashed you? Is like, is that one of those shows where it's at a place that it doesn't normally have comedy?
Yeah, but this night was solidified as the comedy night, and they had perfect conditions: brick wall, low ceilings, well lit, uh, nice stage. Like this place was super conducive to an amazing comedy show. But a big party of drunk people and with children could take it over.
Because
Right.
it seems,
Like most shows,
yeah.
outside of like a stadium, I feel like a big party with children and drunk people could take over most of comedy. That's one of the secrets that I wish I didn't tell on this podcast, and I'm
Now
sorry for
everyone
that.
knows.
I'm
They
sorry.
have way
Kevin
too much
Hart,
power over us.
Seinfeld, everybody involved, Amy Schumer. I'd like to apologize for y'all for letting out one of the secrets. But it is what it is. That's the kind of exclusives you get on this podcast.
Hell yeah.
That's it right there, man. Yo, I was in a similar situation where it ended a little better for you. I wish there was a DJ playing music off for me, but like same type of deal. It's a place that doesn't usually do comedy, but I'm there like headlining whatever, like a paid spot at the end of the open mic, but like they have a flashing like neon billboard outside the restaurant, and my face is on it. Like my picture is up there and it says Jacob Craig comedy night 11 o'clock. Like every 2 seconds it's flashing up there. And the same thing, like a party of drunk people came in and just disrupted the entire night, started saying a bunch of racist stuff to like all of the black open micers that were up there. And then as soon as I get up there, I start like just tearing them a new one. So I'm winning over the comics because it's only the drunk people and the comics that are there. And just immediately, I guess I look like I'm very fightable because the guy's like, yeah, no, this is what we're gonna do now, and just fucking storms after me on stage, trying to kick my ass.
You got the mic?
Yeah,
Is there a mic stand?
yeah. Oh, I was reaching for it. I was trying to hit him with it, dude.
Well, then what happened? He storms at you, and then what happens?
A guy ran out of the kitchen and hugged both of us to where like
A
he's
guy made it out of the kitchen on the stage to get to
yes.
this dude.
So like
Okay.
he gets to me at this around the same time because we're arguing for a minute. Like around the same time, a guy from runs out of the kitchen and just like grabs both of us and like makes us kind of stand there looking at each other.
So this guy in the kitchen, is he a fullback at Mississippi State or Ole Miss
He
or
was probably too athletic to be dropping French fries. I'll say that. He should probably got a scholarship passed up because he got there real fast.
Yeah, no, that sounds insane that John Wick was in the kitchen.
Dude, he's moonlighting as like a vigilante at night because he's like,
Yeah,
I hear danger, I gotta run to it right now.
Well, look, I don't know how
right.
it is up north, out west, but here in the South, you do not want to mess with people that work in a kitchen. Those are the people that you
Oh
do not
yeah,
want to
I'm
mess
from the
with.
South, by the way. Like I'm from Georgia.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. So I mean, especially if you're at a
yeah.
Waffle House, Waffle House people will,
Oh
will
man,
straight up kick your ass.
for sure. Yeah, that video of that lady catching that chair was incredible. But also, why would you mess with somebody at the Waffle House? They're making everybody so happy.
For
Right.
real.
Yeah.
I don't
I've
know, man.
never I've never gotten to it with anyone at a Waffle. Even though Waffle House said I felt uncomfortable, I still never got into it with anyone. Now, I've had like waited a long time to be served and bounced because I felt like there was a sign. I felt like, hey, they'll let me know, you don't want to eat here. You
Right.
know what I'm saying? And I have bounced, but I yeah. I I have a lot of respect for the cooks out there. I used to work in the kitchen for a second. I worked at the Chick-fil-A at the Atlanta airport.
So we're considering that working at a kitchen at the Chick-fil-A at the Atlanta airport.
I was in the kitchen.
No, all right, fair enough. were there any crazy activities happening at the
I mean,
Chick-fil-A
Lil
kitchen?
Jon came one time.
Yeah.
Yeah. Vanilla Ice came one time. Rob Van Winkle himself. I was putting nuggets in drawers. I really wasn't doing nothing heavy as far as cooking. They really didn't believe in my cognitive ability, and they really just had me holding on to hot trays and full of eggs and putting the eggs in drawers and chicken in drawers and taking them out and put them on sandwiches and putting nuggets in a box.
Right.
I'll try to hook people up, when you see 9 nuggets in an 8 count, that's somebody looking out for you. I know how to count.
See, that's the distinction though, because how many people did you work with in that kitchen that didn't know how to count?
I think everybody knew how to count. I think some people are nicer than other people. We all can
Right.
count to well, everybody knew how to count to 8. I don't know. I don't know about the 12 count, but the 8, everybody knew how to count to 8.
Right. They had to put that on the application
Single
to get
digits,
the
we got
job.
that. We got that. Yeah.
Right. Well, Rob, man, it has been an absolute pleasure to have you here, dude. We're running
Yeah.
out of time, unfortunately. Please tell everyone where they can follow you, where they can watch the special. What do you got to tell everybody?
I'm at Rob Haze on everything. ROBHAZE. ROBHAZE. Just spell it once, 7 letters. I know you can do it. Sometimes I spell it out and people still type it the other way. Like I watch them. Like I just spelled it out loud and then they hand me their phone and I'm just like, I really don't know what people are hearing. I finally got at Rob Haze on Twitter. And then, Elon turned it into X, and now we're living in this world. Like I had been arguing with the dude that had Rob Hayes for years. I finally got my name on there. So I'm at Rob Hayes on most everything. Just type in Rob Hayes on YouTube. You'll find Frontin. Please give it a watch. Also pre-order the album. The album drops on March 2nd, February 31st. That's a Easter egg for those of you who have heard Frontin. If you haven't, you watch it, then you'll get it. You'll understand. But yeah.
Well, I'm going to have all the
Awesome, man.
links in the show notes. So I got your website, I got your Instagram, and I got a link to the Frontin YouTube comedy special, which is awesome. And please, if you listen to this show, go watch that special. It is something to behold. It's one of my favorite specials I've watched so far this year.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. I was wondering what the last part was gonna be. Like if you said this week, I'd be like, man,
No.
this week just started.
No, it's the best comedy special I've seen in the last 48 hours.
It was the best comedy special I watched an hour before this interview.
Oh man,
This year it's like, all right, we're a couple months in. Okay, all right.
but
Yeah,
thank you
yeah.
so much for coming on the show. We're definitely going to have to get you down here on the Gulf
Come
Coast,
on.
at least somewhere around New Orleans, Lafayette, Mobile, where everything's popping off. Like you got
Oh
to
yeah,
get
I'll be
down
in New
here.
Orleans in April
Oh,
at
awesome.
Sports Drink. Me and Jamel Johnson. We're doing a couple shows in New Orleans. So yeah, definitely come through to that if you're in that area. But maybe we could string something along with there. I don't know.
All right, bet,
Absolutely.
man. We'll make it
Awesome.
happen.
Well, if you want to give us a shout, let me play our music here if I can't hear what's happening. There we go. Email us at OpenMicersPodcast at gmail.com. Go to our Patreon, patreon.com/OMPodcast. And our Linktree is Linktree/OpenMicersPodcast. That's all of our socials. Everywhere you can give us some money, our Patreon, Cash App, PayPal, all that good stuff. We love every single one of you, and we will see you all next week.
I can't work at Chick-fil-A. I can only count to 7.
Awesome. Well, thank you everybody for watching on YouTube. Go watch Rob's special. Right, if you're watching this immediately after this video, go watch the special. So thank you guys. We'll see all of you next week.